So hello my dear friends, welcome back. Welcome to your channel Cooking Astrology. First of all, I would like to thank all of you for subscribing my channel and liking my videos. Thanks a lot. So today in this video, let's try to understand the power behind the sign of Sagittarius in Vedic Astrology. In Hindi, we call it as a Dhanu Rashi. If you even look at the Zodiac sign, that is the sign of Sagittarius, you will see that half animal and half male god is actually pointing the arrow. So that pointing the arrow towards something means that shows the level of focus, attention, that also represents the killing instinct. Okay, Sagittarius is actually one of the most powerful signs in Vedic astrology. If you even pick up the Lord Shri Ram horoscope, so he is having the Rahu placement in the sign of Sagittarius. Now इस पूरे विश्व का सबसे श्रेष्ठ धनुधर कौन है? श्री राम. It's not Arjuna, it's Shri Ram. So have you seen that Lord Shri Ram and that archery skills that are present inside Shri Ram? That is also the sign of Sagittarius. Now this is one of the most powerful zodiac signs. And this is also a Devtulya Rashi. Devtulya Rashi means there are some godly blessings. Some big sort of blessings are actually present in the Dhanu Rashi. And that is why in the Kalpursh Kundli, if you look at the 12 zodiac signs, 9th house particularly, or the 9th zodiac, 9th house or the 9th zodiac is actually that Dhanu Rashi. Now this is also the house of your Bhagya, fortune, luck factor. If you want to see whether I'm only going to work hard in my life or luck is going to support you or not. So without the support of luck, nothing is possible. I understand hard work is very important. I'm not denying that fact. If 99% hard work, then 1% luck is also going to play a very important role in your life. Now you need to pick up your chart. Look if there are some planets in the sign of Sagittarius or not. Even if there is no any planet posited in the sign of Sagittarius, don't worry. You can directly go to actually the nakshatra placements also. So there are 3 prime nakshatras that are falling in the sign of Sagittarius. Mula nakshatra, then Uttarashada and Purvashada. So these 3 nakshatras are also lying in the sign of Sagittarius. Even one more important thing, if there is no any planet posited in these 3 nakshatras also, you need to check your Bhavchali chart. If you don't understand what is Bhavchali chart, you can Google it. Bhavchali chart by Cooking Astrology. You will see what is Bhavchalit Kundli. Bhavchali chart actually shows the exact planetary placements. Okay, if the planets are whether transiting from maybe Scorpio to Sagittarius, if any planet is in Gandanta mean in the line of 8 and 9, and any planet in the Gandanta of 9 and 10 Capricorn, sometimes they also goes towards that Dhanu Rashi. So in that way you can check. Okay, even if there are still no planets coming in the Sagittarius, then simply look into the house placement, like in which house this Dhanu Rashi is posited in your horoscope. That will going to help you to find the answers of each and everything. Now before starting and jumping on to the Dhanu Rashi, as I told you, this is a God Tulya Rashi. Okay, Devtulya. So the sign of Sagittarius on one side, this is a dual sign. Okay, understand? Dual. So this is a dual zodiac sign. So the Sagittarius is going to reflect on one side the complete positive aspects, and these positive aspects are connected with your ability to teach other people, your ability to preach other people, your ability to guide, acting as an advisor. Even this is the sign of knowledge, wisdom, that is your belief systems. Even if you want to understand whether if I am going in the wrong direction in my life, okay, maybe some indulgence in bad activities, smoking, drinking. So whether you have the capacity to come back from that bad activity and still follow the correct path, that is also represented by the Dhanu Rashi, because this is the sign of purification. Okay, once you go into the clutter of Scorpio, then you will come out from Scorpio and then enter into the Dhanu Rashi. And that is where all the clutter that is actually created by the sign of Scorpio is actually getting washed away in the sign of Sagittarius. This is some sort of a holy Agni. Okay, and I'm not saying the holy river. This is holy fire, sacred fire. So all the puja, yagnas that you are performing, any sort of rituals that involves marriage ceremonies also, any big celebration ceremony, even any fire related activities. If you are cooking in a kitchen right now, watching this video, still cooking there, so fire is also that Dhanu Rashi. Now these all are the positive traits that are actually present inside this Dhanu Rashi. But if you go into the negative side, because I told you this is a dual Rashi, there are going to be lot of animalistic traits present inside the sign of Sagittarius. Sagittarius have the capacity to kill someone. This is a very straightforward kind of a Rashi, very straightforward. This is very blunt also, extremely hardworking, extremely courageous, very high level, extreme level of risk taking capabilities are also present inside the Dhanu Rashi. Have the capacity to even defeat all the enemies, not one enemy. I'm talking about if there are 1,000 enemies or maybe lakhs, thousand enemies. So one Sagittarius person have the capacity to defeat all the enemies. It may be using some diplomatic traits, although Sagittarius is not at all diplomatic, but using some power, because power is actually in the Dhanu Rashi. This is not a powerless zodiac sign. And the sign of Sagittarius also is the representation of the some sort of hidden instincts which are present inside every person. The sign of Sagittarius also represents the skill set of a native, the skill set which is present inside you. Many of you are wandering here and there in your careers. I want to become this, I want to become this, I want to become that person, I'm going to switch my career, I'm going to go into multimedia marketing, I will go for engineering, I will go for medical sciences, I'm going to become a lawyer, attorney, these things, I'm going to pursue education in different variety of fields, okay. So the sign of Sagittarius itself is a very knowledgeable sign, okay. There is no need for you to gain more knowledge. If the sign of Sagittarius is prominently posited in your horoscope, it means knowledge is actually present inside you. You only need to focus over the implementation part. Implementing, sharing or giving that knowledge away have the capacity to bring a good money into your life. And that is the core aspect of that sign of Sagittarius. Now, as I firstly told you, you need to check the planets posited in the sign of Sagittarius. Now, usually there are no planets that are getting exalted or debilitated in the sign of Sagittarius. No planet. There are other zodiac signs also. I'm not denying that fact. But in the sign of Sagittarius, no planet is exalted, no planet is debilitated. So any planet in the sign of Sagittarius have the capacity to feel very comfortable. It may be Jupiter, it may be Saturn, it may be Venus, or it may be Mercury also, it may be any other planet. Even Rahu, even Ketu, I will tell you, most of the planets, including Rahu, Ketu axis, they have the capacity to feel bit comfort in the sign of Sagittarius, because this is a Devtulya Rashi. Devtulya means some godly powers are present inside this Rashi. So no matter which planet are posited in the sign of Sagittarius, you just need to connect the significance of that planet with the sign of Sagittarius, and that is going to show you the exact career pathway also. And that is going to be based over your skills also, because 9th house is the representation of not only the your bhagya, that is fortune, that is also the representation of hidden talent or some hidden talents which are actually present inside you. So God have given that Dhanu Rashi in your horoscope. Any planet in the sign of Sagittarius have the capacity to give the positive result. Okay, any planet I'm telling you, although like it differs from planet to planet. Sun posited in the sign of Sagittarius is going to give some different result, whereas Venus placement in Sagittarius tend to give different result. But most of the planets operate very good in the sign of Sagittarius. So first of all, try to connect the planet significance with the zodiac sign significance. This will give you result. Secondly, if you need to minutely funnel it down, go into the nakshatra placement. Now, if you are having no planet posited in the sign of Sagittarius, just look which house the sign of Sagittarius is posited. For example, you are Libra ascendant, sign of Sagittarius falling in the 3rd house. 3rd house represents the mass media communication. So you have the capacity to become successful in these areas. If maybe the sign of Sagittarius posited in some other 10th house, and some prominent planets like Jupiter are present up there, it means the capacity of a person to teach other person as a guide, as a coach, as a motivational speaker. You have that capacity to go into that area. If the sign of Sagittarius is posited in some other houses, maybe 12th house, the strong imagination, intuitive abilities, so any sort of content writing, content creation, even creation of video editing, different video tools. So they are also going to be very, very helpful in deciding that part. But apart from that career and these kind of aspects, as I told you, this is the zodiac sign of purification. So this have the capacity to purify your Atman, even your mind also. Because the sign of Sagittarius, if you look, that is directly falling after the 8th zodiac sign. That is the sign of Scorpio. Now Scorpio is a full of clutter, full of negativity, very deep sign that is ruling the Dushtana house, not considered good in Vedic astrology. But when any planet comes out from this sign of Scorpio, so they go into the sign of Sagittarius, and these planets, they will get purified completely. Every year I'm talking about. Whenever the Surya, planet Sun, transit through the sign of Sagittarius, and that is happening around 10th of December till I believe 20th of January. Approximately I'm telling you. Mid of December till mid of January. Okay, this is that time frame. Now whenever the Surya going through the transit in the sign of Sagittarius, so this have the capacity to purify the nature. This have the capacity to purify your body, your soul, your Atman as well. Similarly, Mars going in Sagittarius have the capacity to do purification of everything. Any major planet, Saturn transit through the sign of Sagittarius, this is going to create a lot of purification. If something is not necessary, so Saturn period for 2.5 to 3 years is going to remove each and everything. Any other planets also, Venus posited in the sign of Sagittarius, auspicious functions, marriages, celebrations are going to take place. So any planet, whenever they goes through the sign of Sagittarius, they need to go through first of all the sign of Scorpio. And when the planet is going to leave that Scorpio, the planet is going to be a bit confused. Like, oh my goodness, which kind of a realm I'm dealing with? Like, what is happening up there? And that is why planet Jupiter, which controls the sign of Sagittarius, whenever goes through the sign of Scorpio, 12 places away, and then Jupiter is in the last degrees, like exiting the sign of Scorpio and then entering into the Mula Nakshatra, you will see a lot of cumulative energy or karma is going to be ruled by this Mula Nakshatra. And similarly, some percentage in the other 2 nakshatras also of that Sagittarius zodiac sign. And these are going to be very heavy karmas, very stored form of a karma that is going to be coming through this energy. Now, whenever the planets are going to then transit from the 3 nakshatras of Sagittarius and then they will transit into Capricorn, there are going to be some different story, because that is the Karam Bhav. First comes is the Dharam Bhav, okay. 9th house is your Dharam, with which intent you are doing some task, and 10th house is your Karam, like what you are going to do or what you are doing in your life. So have you see, first comes is the intent. So the intent of a person is also seen through the sign of Sagittarius. Intent behind doing anything. If I'm filming this video right now, what is my intent behind filming this video? Am I going to become a famous person? My goal is to teach other people. My goal is to like maybe help someone who are in the field of Vedic astrology. So what is my intent? Dhanu Rashi represents the similar kind of intent in your life as well. The only time this Dhanu Rashi is actually getting cluttered is when your intent is impure. If your intent is very impure and you are having the, like predominantly you are having the Dhanu Rashi in your Kundli, and there are certain major planets coming in the sign of Sagittarius, or there are more number of planets coming in the sign of Sagittarius, then you need to keep one thing in your mind. Your intent must need to be very pure. Only then the Karam Bhav have the capacity to fructify and then give results into your life. Initially, you need to understand 10th house is also the career. Career and Karam Bhav simply mean any sort of physical efforts that you are doing, walking, going, sleeping, jumping. These are Karam. Bodily movements are Karam. There are mental karmas also. Whether you are sending some positive vibes towards someone or some negative vibes towards someone. So 9th is that representation of the intent. Okay. Like what is the intent of this native behind doing some specific tasks? Now, if the intent is somewhat negative, this sign of Dhanu will eventually then go towards the animalistic traits, which I initially told you, because this is the dual Rashi, dual zodiac sign. Many a time, dual zodiac signs falling in 7th house also have the capacity to create the combination of multiple marriages. Falling in the 5th house of children have the capacity to give you like dual children or twins. Or maybe if the firstborn is male, then second will also come male. If first is female, second will also come female. So this is a dual Rashi that have the capacity to give results in the duality. You see that lightings behind me, this is also that dual nature of the Sagittarius. If you are even like sitting in a car, so someone is sitting in the car with you, that is also the dual, two people. So the two or the intensity of doubling factor is actually connected with that thing. Any sort of 2x growth you want to see in your life, multiple things, okay, doing things at a multiplicity, that all things are actually ruled by Sagittarius. Now, if the planets in the sign of Sagittarius, if for example they are actively working in the positive direction of your life, then you people have the capacity to leave some sort of a legacy behind you. You have the capacity to do something for the improvement of society, for the betterment of other people, because you are having everything. Understand this thing, energy is everything. Dual, this is a dual and fire zodiac sign. Fire is actually, I made one video, it become very, otherwise my topic will go very long. I have already made videos over the power of trines. You can watch this video where I explained the 1st, 5th and 9th, that is the sign of Aries, Leo and the Dhanu Rashi. Now on the other hand, if you, as I have given you the example of Lord Shri Ram, killing of Ravana with that archer, okay. If you look into Lord Krishna horoscope now, Lord Ram and Lord Shri Krishna, both are avatars of Lord Vishnu, okay. Now if you pick up Lord Krishna's chart, Rahu is posited in the sign of Scorpio. Now you see the difference between the life of these two gods. Try to study first of all Ramayana, okay, Ramcharitmanas, and then try to study Lord Krishna. You will see there are going to be a lot of difference between these two entities, and I'm talking about here the sign of Scorpio and the sign of Sagittarius. Like how Rahu have the capacity to behave differently in these two zodiac signs. Lord Ram is very straightforward, whereas Lord Krishna is bit of diplomatic also, cleverness, thoughtfulness. So you see the difference. Any planet going in the sign of that Dhanu and that Scorpio also, they are somewhat correlated with one another. Even nakshatras that are in the Gandanta of the sign of Scorpio and the sign of Sagittarius, they are also correlated with one another. But Sagittarius is actually that kind of a zodiac sign that is acting as the life force behind you. If you even look into the D9 Kundli, Navamsh Kundli, 9th division. So 9th again, although like 9th division is somewhat different, but the 9th zodiac sign, that is the Bhagya, the fortune of a native, is actually going to play a very important role in all the aspects. So I hope you have gained some deep insights regarding the sign of Sagittarius. If you are having any queries, any consultations with regards to your chart, feel free to contact me at my email ID and I will try my best to get back to you as soon as possible. Till then, please subscribe my channel below. Make sure to hit the like button if you really enjoyed this video. And please don't forget to follow me on Instagram as well. And I'm going to meet you very, very soon in the next video. Till then, bye-bye and Hare Krishna.